The next video I'm going to release is my first attempt at a reaction video. No script, just off-the-cuff responses. Searching for a topic, I went to my list. Unlike most of the topics, the one that jumped out at me had only one note. WTF did Kathy just say? So I put on my headphones, queued up the clip, and hit record. It was the only second time I'd ever heard the clip. However, during the process of editing, creating subtitles, and production, I've probably listened to the entire thing at least 30 times. While working on it, I kept noticing little moments that made me think of other clips on my list. My perspective started to change. I gave the finished video one last watch before posting it, and suddenly I realized I may have missed the forest for the trees. The clip I dissected is great. There are multiple parts of the code drawn into question. It's a perfect example of how the code is being manipulated on the fly and weaponized, and it's even got a huge side of incompetence for dessert. However, it wasn't until I'd listened to it for the millionth time that I realized the most important thing the clip does is reveal the genesis of the weaponization, the actual origin story of how we got here and who you are really voting for in a few days. Despite an accusation online, my approach to this campaign was pure political math, plain and simple. The two incumbents ran together last time, and probably would again this time. They also have the advantage of name recognition, especially Kathy. The only weakness is they have to defend their record up to this point. Fighting two opponents is harder than one, so the question is which one to pick. To answer that, I ran a little thought experiment. If the election was not for 2 seats, but was instead some sort of runoff, where only 1 seat was available, and the race was only between the incumbents, who would I choose? Considering my campaign is all about weaponization and the apparent rules for thee, not for me philosophy, this is how I weighed my options. I believe Rod usually wields the sword of government reluctantly and out of desperation, and for the betterment of others. Consider this clip.
They've excavated the ground for a basement and stopped months ago. It's been a year probably. But this thing has been like
I don't know.
Well, I think maybe we need to talk to Jim then. I need some answers to this because this is crazy. And what's going to come back to is us, the township. If something happens out there that we didn't do something, we got to come up with an answer. We can just sue him flat out.
In that clip, Rod's talking about the time a resident dug a massive hole in the ground for a foundation, then abruptly stopped working on it. The site was left unsecured with no fencing, no system in place to prevent it from filling up like a swimming pool, nothing. Just a gaping hole, and Rod was worried some kid could fall in it and die. He saw a danger to the public and was willing to use any means necessary to stop it. Now consider Kathy.
Add one to this list.
Yeah, you can, but
What address is the main road?
Not yours.
I don't know what address.
Oh, yours. I'm sorry. I thought it's Scott's. 15 years is a long time for me to live beside that. I'm just as concerned as anybody else about so at the other day, it was 2:30 in the morning, every park bench, and I turned around and came back, was someone sleeping on it. And there is
park bench or
the park, not park benches. I didn't go to the parks, but
bus
the bus stops and everywhere, and into our businesses. And I just feel at this time, if there is something, I have reached out, if there's something else we can do, because me as a female and our other females, when you can't go to the gas station, you have to go to somebody else's community to go use their gas station. That's not right. You should be able to, this is our community. I probably shouldn't say that, but you know what? I don't want us looking like the bottoms coming up here. I'm sorry.
In these clips, she's talking about her not liking certain unsightly houses, her insecurities and fearing for her own personal safety, and her not wanting to drive by undesirables. I believe she yields the sword of government in her own self-interest, and feels the public owes her a thank you for any collateral benefits of her good works. So the choice was obvious: endorse Rod and make the value proposition case between Kathy and myself. However, the next video has changed my arithmetic. For a few months back in 2023, the lead township attorney was attending every trustee meeting, sitting either with the trustees or at the side table with the rest of the staff. At the time, I assumed this was due to larger legal issues, like the village apartments, the large influx of other court cases thanks to our increased cleanup efforts, or even the back-end work on initiatives like the Exterior Property Maintenance Code. All legal issues that would be more easily and accurately answered by the one really handling the issue, the attorney. However, it's obvious this was not the case. Unlike sitting in the gallery live, listening to the recordings, you get to hear the dialogue happening at the table, and this extra information is revealing. Just like the zoning department and the Board of Zoning Appeals receives regular training by legal, the attorney was providing live, on-the-job training for our trustees. The trustees were being actively coached on how to manipulate the code and their words to suit the goals in real time right in front of us. When you watch the video, listen to all the disclaimers she gives, like I'm not speaking for anyone on the board, while simultaneously speaking directly to the residents from their table. At every opportunity, she nudges the trustees away from their gut instincts and towards her desired outcome. Were we lied to? We may have thought we elected Kathy and Rod in 2021, but it's painfully obvious we also elected a not-so-silent third wheel. Maybe this is why the incumbents have been so silent this entire cycle. No meet the candidate night, no debates, the untimely locking of the most popular Facebook group. Maybe they know their record is problematic. Watch the next video and decide for yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.